In this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to play Awakening Warrior. And so what are we waiting for? Let's get this started. Before we begin, I would like to let you know that I'm challenging myself to play all the classes and make a tutorial video about it in the easiest manner way, so that way you guys can get it started somewhere for PvP as well. So if you want to see me progress and support me, please consider liking my videos and don't forget to subscribe. Cheers. One of the reasons why I like playing Warrior Awakening is because when you press Q, you have a frontal guard and super armor. Usually in BDO, they have frontal guard when you press Q, and so when enemy comes behind you and hits you, then you will fall down. However, he still has super armor. So what does that mean? If somebody try to CC you from behind you, they will still get damaged, but they're never gonna get CC'd. So only way they can get CC'd is basically getting a grab from the enemy, and that's it. And then if you don't know what to do, just press Q again, and then you're basically permanently blocking all the ability of CCs and everything in front of you. And so that's why Q just is broken skill that you guys can use if you guys don't know what to do for PvPs and need to kind of think for 2 seconds. And then once again, we do need to spam that Q, and then look at this. It gives you guys all AP plus 26 and all DP plus 20. So that's pretty much like hacking in this game, honestly. Like, that's a lot of DP and that's a lot of AP. And so as a warrior player, if you guys don't spam Q when you guys are either grinding or even like PvPing, you're basically trolling because you're missing out all those juicy buffs that you guys can get when you simply just press Q as a warrior. Try this combo too. This is something that you guys will lose a lot for PvP and combos once they get like CC'd, for example, which is W+LMB and then pressing spacebar afterwards. And then boom, just like that, he uses 3 skills just like that right there. So why is this combo so good, which is W+LMB and spacebar? The reason behind that is because this one, if you guys look at it, it has debuff of evasion rate of 6%. And so let's say that we're fighting a ninja player and then they have high evasion. Then we can basically debuff them with this, right? And then after that, we're going to use this skill, and then he has a down attack damage of 10%. And so the good combo for this one would be, for example, if you use Reckless Blow, which is the most best CC you guys can get because it has a knockdown, for example, like this. Now what we want to do is that combo, right? So evasion debuff, and then after this, we're going to give a down attack damage. So while they're down for 4 seconds, we can basically give more combos and give more damage of 10% of every ability what we're going to use. And then the third one that we use is Armor Break, and look at this. It has all DP of -30. So they're basically naked, right? And so that's why I love this 3 combos right here, is once we get a knockdown, and if you use that 3 abilities, boom, now they're basically naked and ready to be shredded, right? And so that's what we do as Awakening Warrior, is to look out for those moments, right? So we just press Q, and then look out for the moments, and then let them use all their abilities. And then when you have chance, right, do something that has a knockdown, and then after that, do your combos, right? That I'm about to teach you guys later. But then yeah, just keep that in mind. That's the reason why I love using that 3 combos right there. After that, there's actually a nice healing system that Warrior has, which is right here, Pulverize. And so if you guys look at it, it says recover 400 HP when using the skill. So no matter what, if you're actually hitting the enemies or not, if you just do down LMB, it literally just heals 400. And so that's the reason why this skill is so freaking broken. And then after that, try this flow skill, which is Pulverize and then Tempest. And so it is S-LMB and then holding LMB, and then he uses 2 abilities just like that. And then there's another fun combo, which is Balance Strike, and then if you guys use this ability, and if you actually land a hit on the enemy, you guys can get this flow called Hilt Strike. And then with this, you guys can get all accuracy rate of 6%, so it will look something like this. And then boom, just like that, you guys actually get an all accuracy rate of 6%. But let's say that you didn't hit anybody and then just do W+RMB, you're not going to get the buff, so keep that in mind as we go through this. And then try this combo, which is Balance Strike, and then if you guys hold RMB, you guys are going to use the chain called Heaven's Cleave. And it will look something like that. And try this combo as well, which is Grave Digging, and then after that, if you do just hold RMB afterwards, it's going to use Slashing the Dead, and so we don't even have to press Shift. For example, it will look something like this. So Shift+LMB, and then just hold RMB afterwards. And then voila, it uses 2 abilities. So this is a good ending skill that we can use as well. The reason why we want to end with Grave Digging is because it has debuff of movement speed, attacking speed, and casting speed. And so we want to just put that debuff on the enemy when they wake up, basically, right? So for example, if you did this combo and then this, right, and the space bars, and then what we want to do is Shift+LMB and Shift+RMB, right? which we don't even have to press Shift+RMB, but just holding RMB. But what I mean is that you're now debuffing the enemy when they're standing back up. And so when they stand up again, now they're debuffed with all those slows, abilities. And so that's the reason why you guys want to debuff them with these in the end. And then hopefully you guys like my skill cooldown slots settings from my screen. If you guys don't know how to do that, basically press escape and then edit UI, and then you guys just need to move around this, right? And then after that, you guys have to put numbers on these and then just move around, right? And do stuff like that. And I also have a video about it. Go check it out right now. And then once you guys do all these settings, it will do something like this. So for example, I can look at my screen and then see what's ready, right? And then W+LMB and then spacebar, right? And that's another good combo that I like to use, which is, and then other one would be W and then RMB. And then after that, down LMB and then holding LMB, right? And then this one, the Shift+LMB and then holding RMB, right? And so those are the scenarios that you guys can use for combo wise, and it's very, very nice for PvP and PvE. And so yeah, hopefully you guys do the same for new beginner players for BDO, and hopefully that this will teach you more everything about Awakening Warrior. And there's something really important that you guys need to know is Reckless Blow. There's some hidden skill that you guys can actually get buffed, which is all attack speed 10% after charging is complete. So what that means is that, like, if you get a grab, for example, and then do head chase, and then if you hold down LMB RMB and charge it, look at this. We get attack speed of 10% right there. Plus, if you guys use skill add-ons, you guys can get another 10% of attack casting speed. And so you guys can basically get like 20% of attack speed right there. And so I highly recommend you guys using skill add-ons for like monster damage and attack speed if you guys are PvE grinding. And then if you guys charge, you basically get 20% attack speed. And so yeah, I would highly recommend you guys trying that combo and using that skill add-ons. Let's talk about movement skills. The skills that Awakening Warrior has is head chase right here, and it's basically shift and then using your movements, which is ASDW. Keep in mind the only first one has an iframe, but the cooldown is really short, which is 2 seconds. And so what you guys want to do is usually like the movement skill method, what I usually teach you guys for my tutorial videos, which is like movement and then do some kind of super armor, right? And then when it's up again, then do movement again, right? And then do something like a frontal guard. And then when it's ready again, movement, right? And then try to get a grab or whatever, stuff like that. And so you do not want to spam like this because you will get off guard and you will fall down on the floor if you keep spamming that. And so I mentioned that for PvPs, and so don't do it. On PvE though, you know, you can spam that for sure, because who cares, man? PvEs are freaking dumb people anyways. So Warrior also has a grab, which is E, but look at what happens when we press E. You basically went to main, and so what we need to do is now use head chase again in order to go back to awakening position. And so that's another good like smooth transition way if you guys use something with like main skills. And then if you want some smooth transition, all you have to do is just using a head chase, for example. So once again, get a grab, boom, and then use a head chase, and then now we're on awakening form, and then do like awakening form combos. There's also a good movement skill that you guys can use for main. If you guys scroll down and check out this one, which is called charging thrust, which is WF. And then there's another good one that goes really well with that, which is called Frenzy's Dash, which is Shift Q. And so for example, we're on awakening form, but if we use WF, it's going to turn into our main form. So like this, and we have a nice dash like that with the forward guard. And then the cooldown is pretty short too. And so we can like use that again whenever we want to go through the enemies very, very close. And so WF again, and then after that, try Shift Q, and it has a little nice dash as well. Keep in mind though that Shift Q has a longer cooldown versus WF, and so just keep that in mind. But once you use both of those, you guys can go very, very far. For example, try this combo, which is from here, and we're gonna go all the way there and then try to get a grab, which is WF, Shift Q, and then boom, E. And then after that, you guys know what to do, right? Boom, give a second knockdown, and then just doing some crazy combos afterwards. You can also try this combo, which is balance strike and then holding RMB. It does have a little dashes like this, right? But keep in mind that it does not have a super armor or forward guard, so use it on your own risk. So it might be a good one for PvE grinding, right? But just keep in mind for PvP is very, very useful to use. And also there's another cool one, which is very fast dashy like CC, but also doesn't have a forward guard or super armor, which is head chase and then solar flare. So it would look something like this. Something like that, and then it does give a stiffness, but once again does not have a forward guard or super armor, so use it on your own risk. So if you do like that ability, you do like that little dash and really fast, quick like CC. What you guys can do for selected skills is maybe using solar flare, right? And so for example, if you do the head chase, which is iframe, and then if you do solar flare, right, we will be constantly protected. And so that's another good strategy that you guys can add on your combo. Really cool thing about awakening classes in general is because they have selected skills that you guys can pick. So for example, we just talked about solar flare, and then let's talk about frenzy strike, which is shift Q. So if you do shift Q and then on the third shot, if you actually land the CC on the enemy, they actually get a bound. And so after that, we can give a second knockdown, for example, right? However, that one does not have any frontal guard or protection, right? And so that's why if you use the selected skill for this one, for example, like this, and then shift Q, now we have a frontal guard. And so that's another good way to use for like PvP scenarios. Another cool one would be like this one as well, which is down RMB, right? And then it does have a nice floating. However, it does not have any protection. And so if you guys use this, which is forward guard, right? Now you guys can use that ability and then give people like CC. And then another one can be like balance strike as well, right? Which is forward guard as well. And so if you do W+RMB this time, now we can give a stiffness. And then once we get a stiffness, then you just get a second CC and go from there. And then the other two is really fun too, right? For grave digging, let's say that we use this one. Usually they don't have a CC on this one, but now if you use it, now we have a bound for that one. And then when we use pulverize, we basically get a second knockdown. So let's say that our LMB RMB is on cooldown, right? The next one we can use is pulverize, and then we can get a second knockdown, for example, like that, and then make another cool combo. Guess what time it is? It's time for combos. This is a scenario where you guys get a grab and then doing a combo. I will slow down later in a bit, and so just enjoy and watch the video. Once again, we start off with the grab and then use head chase to change it to awakening weapon. And then after that, hold LMB RMB for a second knockdown. And then after that, hold LMB for tempest, W+LMB, space bars, and get them naked. And then RMB for flow. And then SLMB, SRMB, Shift+LMB, and then RMB for the flow. Another friendly reminder is that we do not have to start with the grab. We can basically use some kind of CC in the very beginning, and then after that, do the same combo that I taught you guys previously, right? And so there's a lot of methods and mechanics that you guys can do for PvP. And with enough practice and master this as Awakening Warrior, you can literally fight with anybody in confidence, and they will think that you are some kind of a god player in BDO. That's it with this video. If you guys had fun and learned something in this video, please give a like and subscribe so that way I can have more confidence to make more videos like this one. Thanks for watching and see you guys in the next video. Ciao.